Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. So we were studying this shloka of third chapter. One which is common things for everyone, irrespective of your religious belief or spiritual state of mind, or you are an atheist or whatever, that all of us must do work. All of us must be active physically, mentally, intellectually. And that is necessary also for survival. If you don't do anything, you can't survive. Not from financial point of view, but even your own life. If you don't do anything, there is not possibility. It's not possible for you not to do anything. So we must do work. And continuously, incessantly we do work. Difference between two people is how they do work. What is their attitude behind doing the work? It is the same work done by different people. They achieve different result subjectively. Objectively, it could be the same result apparently, but every work has a internal result or internal impact that changes. Objectively also results sometimes change, but mainly it is the subjective way or internal impact is different. A teacher or a professor teaches in the class, same lessons, everybody hears the same words. Because of the difference in ability to absorb the message, lesson, the result is different. Some fails, some excel. But as we say, that if two people do the same scientific experiment, can the result be different? Every other parameters remains the same. Difference is in two different people conducting the experiment. Can the result be different? There was a time when the answer was no, there is no difference. But as we grow, that any kind of scientific experiment, the person conducting experiment is part of that experiment. He is not out of the scene, he is not out of the experiment. So his or her presence, attitude, ability could affect the result. This is more told from subjective point of view. Science sometimes doesn't accept that. Science doesn't feel that a holy man and a criminal, if they too conduct an experiment, it has nothing to do with their personal characteristics. The result should be the same. In our scriptures, in our practices till today, that matters. Same recipe, same food is cooked by two different persons with two different attitudes. You may say apparently there cannot be any difference. Objectively, it may not be different, but subjectively, people feel difference. Why do you think food offered in the temple, you think it is holy or prasad? And food which you cook at home, if it is not offered, how it is different? Apparently there is no difference. You cook some food in a very pure way. Hygienic way is one thing, but pure way. Purity and hygienically pure has difference. I remember I was sitting with some very, very old monks, not of our order, but outside order. So we were all sitting there. I was very young. Because that ashram also was on the bank of Ganges. So Ganges water is very impure. I am telling you about 30 years before. Now Ganges water, if you go to Kashi or Allahabad and all that, water is so pure. I have never seen so pure. Anyway. So they were all discussing. Oh, the Ganges water is so dirty. We don't feel like taking bath. Earlier we used to drink directly from the river itself. Now we cannot. I remember one very old monk told one thing. He told in Hindi, so just two words which you understand. He told, अस्वच्छ और अपवित्र में फर्क है. There is a difference between impure water and unholy water. Sri Ramakrishna was once saying, remember, Sri Ramakrishna had a vision. About Holy Mother, when somebody doubted the divinity of Holy Mother, Sarada Devi. Sri Ramakrishna gives this example and says, sometimes the dead body flow in Ganges water for whatever reason. Does it reduce the holiness of the Ganges water? It becomes impure. Hygienically you don't. But if the dead body flows away, immediately the new water is coming and people sprinkle on their head. One holiness is your concept. One is a pure water. People have done experiment. We also can do ourselves. Take a bottle of mineral water, spending money. They will write the expiry date. You keep it for 1 year, don't do anything. Don't use it, don't even open. At the same time, from wherever you like, from Gangotri to Gangasagar, anywhere, take one bottle of Ganges water and keep in your home. Seal it. See what happens after 2 years, 1 year. That which was pure water, which you spend money, gets spoiled. But Ganges water doesn't spoil. We keep some water, I don't know where. I had purchased long before one small bottle of water. Cost was of the water, not of the water. Last 30 years is with me, no smell. That also you can attribute to pure water from chemical point of view. There are some minerals which keeps the water pure. You don't attach any spirituality to it. But then why? Every river water remains the same? No. So that is one aspect. Objective. What I want to say is the objective and subjective difference. Just because you offer food in the temple, it becomes pure. You feel that you have taken prasad. You feel happy. You feel purer. So there is a subjective aspect of every action. That's what we wanted to talk. Objective aspect is one thing. Subjective aspect is not discussed much because it is not visible. The impact on yourself by doing one work, it will be reflected in your character later on. Immediately not perceivable. So here, when we have to do work, nobody can be free from work. As Krishna says, nahi kaschit kshanamapi jato tishtati akarmakrit. No one can live even for a moment without doing work. Everybody has to do work. So how do you work? Is important. Work with attachment, work with detachment. Work with love, work anyhow. These are the differences. Love and attachment are two different things. You love the work, you do with dedication, but you are not attached. That's why when people do some service in the mission, or when we do something, we call it Thakur's work, Guru Maharaj's work, God's work, service to God. Because you don't achieve anything out of that work objectively. If it is not so, that is called as nishkama karma. There not be an absolute sense that you are able to do nishkama or without any desire or attachment. But if the concept is there, then many gross attachment you can be free from. Attachment is that glue, or attachment is that shackle, chain, which doesn't allow you to be free from that. The effect will linger. You cannot be free from. That is called attachment. Attachment and love apparently look same. The difference is in the little detachment. So, when you do karma, you do karma with your senses, with your limbs. Your senses are engaged in the sense objects. Without that, no work can be done. Now when sense and sense objects, they connect to each other, if there is an element of detachment, then that karma doesn't produce pain. If attachment is there, it will cause pain. And that is compulsory. What compulsory? Whoever does work, a saint or a sinner, incarnation of God or a man on street, work is the same, senses and sense objects. Those who are detached, the element of detachment is there, they are not affected by that, or less affected by that. But if you don't have any control over your senses, if you don't have a brake in your car, you can drive the car very well, but it will collide somewhere. In the same way, if the senses are not under your control, and if you enter into field of karma, a lot of pain, a lot of disharmony will happen. So Sri Krishna told to Arjuna that whether you become spiritually high or not is a different thing. But have little control over your senses. At least have this concept that I should have control over my senses. How much control I have is a different thing. But at least I should have this concept that I must have some control over my senses so that my senses doesn't work without any control. When that is there, so you try to control your senses and utilize your senses under your observation, under your control. Then there are less chances of collision, there are less chances of pain. But even if you control, here is the subject. Even if you keep your senses under control and don't allow it to indulge negatively, externally you control, but senses work with the help of mind only. No sense, no hands, feet, nothing can work without involvement of the mind. So you control the external senses. No, I will not move today. Your hands, your feet, both the hands in your lap, like Swamiji sits in meditation, like that. No, I don't move. Apparently you control your senses and quietly sitting. What about the mind? So externally you control, but your mind is not under your control. Externally people may see it is under control, but actually it is not so. So here Sri Krishna says that controlling the senses externally and not being able to control your mind at all. So what happens? The senses doesn't indulge with sense objects, but the mind indulges. That is called mithyachara, that's called hypocrisy. Why? Because externally everything seems okay, but your mind is not under your control, so the mind cannot be free from the sense objects. So it is called hypocrisy. Mithyachara sa uchyate. But one who does karma with the senses under control, mind also under control, one who enters into this karma with detachment, he is higher, he is better. Asakta savishishyate. He is a special person who is asakta, who is unattached. If you see the life of the saints, this one quality comes up in every saint's life, that they were detached. So much detached, the extreme cases of Sri Ramakrishna, so much detached, even detached with his own body, so much detached. Holy Mother's life, you see. When Sri Ramakrishna passed away, Holy Mother says, I felt there is no purpose of my living now. What was her age? What was Holy Mother's age when Sri Ramakrishna passed away? Sri Ramakrishna passed away in 86. Mother was born in 53. So 86 minus 53, that comes to 33 years. Sri Ramakrishna appears and says, what do you think? You have to do much more than what I have done. Mother says, I cannot sustain. Thakur showed one girl. She is Yogamaya, Radhu. Depend on her, as if you are attached to her, as if I am not there, who will look after? That Maya dawns, Holy Mother says. Suddenly I felt, and I took Radhu into my lap, and that became the cause of her survival. In Bhagavad Gita, Shankaracharya writes in introduction, his introduction, not the book's introduction, that even Lord incarnates by taking help of his Maya. Swamaya Ashritya. Depending on his own Maya, he incarnates. Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there is nothing to be achieved in this world by me, still I work. I have nothing to achieve. It doesn't matter to me at all whether Pandavas win or Kauravas win. I am detached. Yes, if I have to be active, I will support the dharma which I consider dharma. And even if I support, I will not fight. If Krishna would have decided to fight, I think the 18 days war would have been finished in one day. So Krishna said, I have nothing to do with any party, neither this or that. I will not even fight, but I will be the charioteer of person whom I consider in the side of dharma. This detachment, in spite of having this cosmic responsibility as if, he is detached. There was a King Janaka, father of Mother Sita. He says, even the whole Mithila gets burned into ashes. Name dahati kaschana. Nothing, I don't lose anything. Not that he had no concern, hard-hearted, no. We cannot understand detachment unless we practice little. Then only we understand. It is extremely difficult that you are free from failure and success. How to be free from failure and success? Who does work without expecting success? Because they are not attached to the result of the action. You just do your work. Failure and success belongs to the leader. So detachment is something. Detachment doesn't reduce your enthusiasm for work. I remember many Swamis thinking and telling, once you get sannyasa, that is the highest thing we wanted to achieve in life, that we want to take sannyasa. Okay, got sannyasa, then what? You continue to live your detached life. No ambition, apparently also, in reality also. There is no promotion, there is no salary enhancement, there is no evaluation. You do work. If you do not do, you don't progress. You don't progress. So you do work without any expectation. Detachment is practiced. Remember Swami Yatishwaranand was in Europe and America. One of the most successful Swami in this spiritual sense. President of the order sent a letter to him that Swamiji come back to India. Whatever work he had done, he said, I need to go because the order has come. He left everything and came and was elected vice president of the order, stayed in Bangalore. How to know whether I am attached or not? When the thing is taken away from you, if it creates pain, as much pain it creates, that much attached you are. Apparently okay, on surface definitely you have good friends and you don't feel, oh, I don't know when. Nowadays that emotion also is dying with the help of your social media and all that. You don't feel losing a person. So, as much detachment you have, that much less pain you will have. And why it is, this example is given, that if thing is taken away from you, the more pain you have, more attachment it is. Because whether whomsoever you are, one day everything what you call yours will be taken away from you. That knowledge we must have. Everything whatsoever. Swamiji says, Swami Vivekananda says, nature will take away everything from you. Renounce voluntarily. Renounce doesn't mean you give away every property and go to jungle, not from that point of view, internally. To have this knowledge that everything is impermanent, my life is impermanent, and what I am attached with and spending so much time, energy and mind behind it, that object is not going to go with me. Whether an object or a person or whatever, nothing whatsoever. This is an open secret. Everybody knows, but nobody knows. Who doesn't know in this world that he or she will die one day? Everybody knows. But the other side you see, nobody knows. Everybody live as if others will die, I will never die. Until the last moment, the same way of life goes, cannot. So those who are spiritually little awakened understands this fact that whatever I am staying in, could be a family, could be money, could be whatever. Everything you live and you go. Nothing whatsoever objectively can go with you. Whatever effect subjectively has been created in you, you achieve knowledge, you get some experience, that experience goes with you. That maturity goes with you. If you understood some truths, so when you start your next journey, from the beginning you are detached, because that detachment lasts in you. That's what is the difference between person to person in our life. Lot of tapasya, many times we see some devotees or some swamis, and we have felt how in the world they can become so good in terms of spirituality. Apparent householders. How that mind can be so pure. All the result of past karma, all the result of past tapasya they have done. What we do today, our next birth will be accordingly. That's what we believe in Hinduism. So, yastu indriyani manasa niyamya, one who controls the senses with the mind, karmendriyehi karmayogam arabhate, with the help of senses, who does karma yoga, with the controlled mind and senses, he is asakta, he is detached, and he excels. Difference between this person who has not control over senses and person has control over senses. Difference is only that. You go to Dakshineshwar temple where Sri Ramakrishna used to do worship, same statue. After him, so many priests have come. What is the difference? Difference is in the priest, not in the mother who is standing there as a statue. Sri Ramakrishna could feel palpable presence of mother there. Why not others feel? The subjective state of mind, subjective state of spirituality is different. And these are not stories, these are facts of life. So idea is this, that detachment is something which is very important. Take life of anyone. Swamiji started this order in the name of Sri Ramakrishna Mission. He was the first general president. That's why his name is not in the list of president. We all say Swami Brahmanji was the first president. Yes, Swami Brahmanji was president. Before them, who was there? Swamiji. Swamiji was general president. Within 6 months, he called Swami Brahmanji and told, okay, you are president from tomorrow. Sardanji called, hey, you are secretary from tomorrow. Then Swamiji, where you will go? I belong to Himalayas, I don't belong to here. And he went to Almora, Darjeeling, and staying there. Idea is that detachment. You start something, is it possible to give up? No. We say many times, we worship Swamiji, how much spirituality we understand, but we worship for that. A person who starts big such organization, Sister Nivedita says at that time, this is nothing less than a kingdom. Why kingdom? Apparently Belur is a small few villages to put together, plot of land. One center in Chicago, one in San Francisco, one in Kashi, one in Belur Math, 4, 5, 6 centers. Why she says it is kingdom? Wherever the disciple stays, there potentially a center. And it's 150 years. Today, all branch centers and all put together, we have more than 300 centers. And that comes to how much? That comes to at least 2 to 3 centers average every year. And it has become huge. It will become bigger and bigger. Idea is this, that the great person's greatness depends on his or her detachment. I remember one example. Many of you nowadays must have heard, in history also you must have heard, there was a great queen, Hindu queen of Indore, called Ahalyabai Holkar. You know, if you go to North India, many places you will find this kind of titles of the areas called Baika Bagh, Baika Amuk. That Bai is Ahalyabai Holkar. Hundreds of temples renovated. Hundreds of, at that time, whatever charity work was there, she has done. Digging of the wells and constructing temples and doing service for the people. One lady, one queen. This Ahalyabai Holkar wanted to study Bhagavad Gita. So she is a queen, so hired a best Pandit and told, please come and teach me Bhagavad Gita every day. The Pandit says, okay. So told, okay, let us start from today. So started. What is the first sloka? Dharma kshetre, kurukshetre, samaveta, yujutsava. That's only one sloka which is uttered by Dhritarashtra. Only one sloka. So when Pandit read this first half of the first line of the sloka, Dharma kshetre, kurukshetre, queen says, wait, let me think little. Madam, I am not yet even started. Even reading this sloka, forget about explaining. No, let me think. She thought for a while and said, I think you can go. My study of Bhagavad Gita is over. That means you don't want to study. Or I am not suitable teacher. She says, no, you are great. Then how? This is my understanding of Bhagavad Gita, she told. What is that? What is the sloka? Dharma kshetre, kurukshetre. She understood as kshetre, dharma kuru. Dharma, kshetre, kurukshetre. It is not grammatically correct meaning. You can sit here, sir. Here no problem. So it is called kshetre, dharma kuru. Everywhere do the acts of dharma. And then she started and did so much. Practically gave a new lease of life to Indian culture altogether. History is somewhat not that well written and told to us. Many kings all the way in south, they did work. Can you think of a remote, some temple in Tamil Nadu, renovated by Shivaji Maharaj of Maharashtra. One part of history we are not aware about. What is the different distance between Chennai and Madurai? How many hours of journey? 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever. It was complete Jain kingdom. Jain sadhus, they got Shravaka. Some invaders came and killed them in thousands, just between Chennai and Madurai. So who will protect the Dharma? Dharma is not religion and temple and all that. These values which you get in scriptures. So all the scriptures are destroyed. This concept will remain in the minds of all of us, correct? That concept will survive. Today only one gentleman told, Swamiji, yesterday he came with one young man, now representing big team of karate in America. He said when he was very young, he had come to Singapore, so I had brought him to mission and had given a small booklet to him. He doesn't know what Ramakrishna Mission is all about. Captivated by that book, keeps constant touch in the centers there, came here, uncle, take me to the place where you had given me a small booklet. So a small seed, if you sow in the heart of a young child, it may take time, 10, 15, 20 years, but it will give a result. So here, asakta savishishyate, asakta, one who is detached, can only excel. If you are attached, in which way attachment goes? I am attached to this thing. How? I have attributed a lot of worth in that. I have invested my mind in that, considering that as everything of me or mine. When you understand that if my life itself is fragile, short-lived, how the things I am considering my own can have a longer life. Nowhere it is told that give away everything, no. This knowledge, this information, that we are here for a small period of time. We are here to gather the experience or the knowledge, and the prerequisite of achieving that knowledge is detachment. If you are not detached, you can't learn. Swamiji says in the beginning few pages of Karma Yoga, pleasure cannot be the goal of life. Logically, we can discuss that in next time. Pleasure cannot be the goal. Goal is always the knowledge. Because the thing which you think which gives you pleasure, in that particular time and measurement, it can give you happiness. We have discussed it, we don't repeat. You give me one sweet, I ate it, I am so happy. Oh, Swami, you are happy, I give you another one. Okay. I took second one. What about the third piece? What about the fourth? What about the fifth? A time comes when the thing which was giving me happiness is creating so much animosity and anger and all negatives. How it is possible that the first piece was able to give you happiness and fifth piece is not giving you happiness? If the happiness would have been in the sweet, it should constantly give you happiness. No. Happiness was fine, but your experience is overpowering that happiness. If my experience is not good, it doesn't matter whether that gives me happiness or not. Who likes to take bitter things? Bitter in the sense of medicine bitter, not some are fond of bitter gourd also, that's fine. But that's why in traditionally the food which we take, the name of that food means Aushadham. Food is called Aushadham. Aushadhi is medicine for us. No, food was Aushadham. Shankaracharya is written. For the monks it is written, Bhikshaushadam Sevyadam. Whatever Aushadha means, whatever food you get in Bhiksha, be happy with that. Why it is called Aushadam? Because you are suffering with a disease called hunger. And food is the medicine. That's why those who practice yoga in terms of spirituality, they are told, take food as you take the medicine. You take medicine, medicine very nice, let me do. Nobody takes 1 tablet, 2 tablets, what doctor says. Whatever quantity of food quenches your hunger, that is the ideal quantity of food for you. And that we were told in the beginning, you eat, it's your life. Nobody will stop you. But here is the philosophy. Never eat food so much that it gives you pain. Oh, I cannot sit, I cannot sleep, I cannot walk, I can't do so much food. Sometimes it happens, children will tell. So much food taking, excessive. Most of us, for years and years and decades, there is not a single day when you feel, wow, today I have taken so much food. No. Okay, enough. Take it, enough. Finish. Hunger is the disease. Food is the medicine to remove that disease. So, detachment is the key word for spirituality. Take example of any saint you like, any great person you like. When it comes to spiritual path, detachment is visible. Of course, renunciation is visible. In any field of life, those who excel, you will find detachment in a different way. Take example of anybody who is number one in the world. Anybody you like. Have sacrificed time. Oh, how much you used to practice? Or 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours. Nobody does that. Why you do? Because he has to become number one. If you are in the top, renunciation was much. Renunciation of that part. Not renunciation in every sense of the term we understand. No. But giving away something to excel in something. You have to renounce. Today morning I was talking there in Perumal temple. Can any one of us go to the temple without renouncing the first floor? Not possible. So renunciation is not giving away or giving up. Renunciation is your effort to go higher. As soon as you put your effort to go higher, the lower things will automatically be renounced. You don't need to even try for that. That's what Sri Ramakrishna's style. He said, don't force yourself. Don't remove the wound which is just drying. Then you will become green again. It will go away by itself. You try to make your health good, that the wound will be healed faster. That's what spirituality is all about. You don't need to force yourself. But your more and more effort to go higher, lower things will remain behind. You don't need to even try to renounce it. As when you climb the steps of the temple, do you think you are renouncing the first floor? Your eyes are to go on to the temple. When you go up, automatically ground floor is renounced. So, renunciation and detachment. These are the two key words for anybody to enter in this world. Whichever field you are, so far as you are in this world, these two are necessary. If you are not ready to renounce, sorry, you cannot progress. Detachment is the key to get less and less pain in this world. Whichever sense, whichever way you want to translate is okay, whichever you interpret is okay. But detachment and renunciation, these two are the prime two virtues which are necessary for any kind of progress, especially spiritual progress. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.